Okay, I think I can just start now. There's no one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, hold on. I was like doing this already. Yep, just like that. Let's see if both of these just work. 10 minutes, you say, for waiting. And that tracks. 9 minutes isn't bad, I guess, for waiting for that. All right, I'll keep that in mind. So I guess these two songs are great. I mean, I don't think I'll become big enough anytime soon to worry about the copyright, but I do worry about it sometimes. Regardless, we're doing a dev stream today. So I'm gonna implement, well, I guess I should probably switch to desktop already. Okay, now I have to decide whether I want to close Discord or not. I'm not even sure, to be honest. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that. Close Discord. It's gonna save some bandwidth, if anything. And yeah, I think that's gonna be about it. Automated copyright is very attentive to small creators. Yeah, yeah, very unfortunate, isn't it? Yep. Okay, let's switch to desktop. Just like that, I think that should work, right? I think I have a bit of delay. If it didn't work, then I'm stupid. No, it did work. Okay, great, awesome. I just have a lot of delay. Oh, YouTube has more delay than Twitch on my side. Maybe that's normal. Well, in any case. Oh wait, both chats are working. Okay, this is amazing. Like, this is literally first try. I set up like Twitch and YouTube streaming at the same time in like 1 hour. Like, I didn't even know how to do it. I just searched like YouTube and Twitch at the same time, watched the YouTube tutorial for like 5 minutes, and then set it all up, and it just worked first try. That's actually amazing, and all on Linux. No, so yeah, that's actually awesome. Okay, honestly, I don't know if, I mean, I should probably explain. I just don't know when I should explain the context of this thing. It's like, if there's no one, then I'm just gonna have to repeat myself, but like, okay, I mean, I guess if there's the VOD, then I'll probably just explain and then repeat myself later on anyways. Let's see. So, basically, I made a UI framework, right? I made it in Rust because I'm unsatisfied with pretty much every Rust GUI framework that exists out there. I don't really like ICE, I don't like EGUI, I don't like FLTK or like whatever. Admittedly, I didn't use them too much. I did use not EGUI, ICE for a bit, to try and make some lightweight interface for a program that we're making at my job. But I quickly stopped trying because, I don't know, just, I don't remember. But I didn't like it, essentially. And I've also always been interested in making my own UI from scratch, so eventually, out of sheer either like luck or lucking in or whatever, I managed to have enough dedication to make somewhat one myself with some caveats. So like, it's made in Rust from scratch. It's immediate mode, but I didn't do the text layouting and rendering myself. I used the dependency for that. Mainly Parlay and Swash, two excellent crates. And that's about it. And the the way it's made is inspired from a blog post from Ryan Fleury. Let me just fetch it. UI series. That was funny. I know one person who's really gonna like the fact that Weewa came first. Anyways, so yeah, this UI series from Ryan Fleury, I implemented my UI framework based on the free articles that are there, because like after part 3 you need a subscription to see the other ones, so I just didn't look at them. I just didn't want to pay for a subscription. So I looked at the 3. That was very inspiring, and there were some really good ideas in there, so I took inspiration from it. And I implemented a UI, and well, let's just see the result, I guess. Like that. Oh yeah, it takes some time, especially in release mode, which is one of the big problems I have with with Rust, is how long it takes to compile if you have a lot of dependencies, and if you don't do literally everything yourself. It's kind of a nightmare. But yeah, this is what the UI looks like right now. There's quite a bit of context that I would need to explain for why there's some kind of disk recovery visualization. But that aside, I'm gonna explain it later. That aside, this is what I have right now. I can have some tabs with different pages. I have a lot of blocks and stuff like that. And I can draw rounded rectangles, I can draw text, and I can draw images, but I didn't show it. And that's really it, honestly. Oh, and the second thing is, if I press F3, I have some debug information as well. So I have right now just the position and size of a widget, and I have some information about widgets, like some statistics about how many are unused, how many are active, which ones are clipping, like, you know, the clipping the content. Say, for example, if I scroll, the ones that are here, right here, they're not showing, right? They're not showing because they are clipped by the scroll view, and there's only one scroll view, so there's one clipping widget. And the ones that are drawing, the ones that are text, and then a bunch of performance metrics, because I was really trying to stress test it in a way that that even with the most usually people start with a calculator, or Snake Space starts with a disk debugger. Well, I did start with Snake, actually. So like, I mean, not with this UI framework, but I did make a Snake game in Rust with like a raw frame buffer, like manipulating the pixels myself, and like making like basically a prototype of what is this UI framework right now, with stuff like U16 instead of floating point for coordinates and whatever. So and that was fun, and also it was the start of a project that I could actually finish compared to all my other side projects. So yeah, that was really nice. That was a motivation booster, to be honest. And now for that, where was I? Yeah, the performance metrics. So yeah, I have performance metrics because I don't know if you realize, but I'm not supposed, like, if I were to have some sort of disk recovery visualization software, I wouldn't have this many widgets on the screen right now. It says like there are like 7,866 active widgets. And the thing is, right now I'm doing the dumbest thing possible, which is to have every rounded rectangle here. Let me just remove the debug view right now. Everything here, like every rectangle, every rounded square is an individual widget. But in a real UI, like if I were to turn this into some kind of production grade software, this wouldn't be like, all of these squares wouldn't be an individual widget. They would just be rendered by, say, like one widget that displays all these squares at once, because it's a waste of space, a waste of algorithmic usage of the like my flex layout calculator. Like that doesn't need it. Like, I'm wasting a lot of memory and computation power just to render these squares. And the reason I'm doing that is to stress test the UI once again. So like I just don't want to, like, I want it so that even if you do the stupidest thing possible in regards to displaying widgets on the screen, that the performance is still acceptable. And by acceptable, on my screen I have a 300 Hz screen, so I basically target 300 FPS, but it's hard sometimes. Right now, given that I'm streaming, I'm getting 100-ish FPS in release mode. Honestly, it's not that good to me, but I'm also not very skilled in terms of performance, so it is what it is, I guess. That being said, I'm not gonna focus on performance today. I'm just gonna implement a debugger UI, because right now all I have is like the equivalent of the F3 menu in Minecraft, where you just have a bunch of text. And what I want is, like, say, like a UI that surrounds this thing, like it has panels on the side, uh, with a bunch of information. Specifically, some kind of inspector UI like you would see in the browser, like the inspector that shows you the source, and when you look at like a line of HTML, it looks at the, like, it highlights it in the in the view, right? And also Clay has that. So Clay is another layout library by made by Nick Barker, right? Why did it do that? Hello, I wanted to go there. I can go here actually. Okay, yeah, this thing. It has cool stuff like that. It's made in C. It has a HTML render and a canvas render. Actually, this is rendered on canvas now. If I go into the inspector and look at this, there's only one thing, and it's the canvas, and everything is rendered in there. Or the HTML renderer, in which case it lays things out using standard HTML elements. It also has a raylib renderer for native stuff. And the interesting thing is, if I press D, it has a debugger tool where I can look at some, where I can hover over the elements inside of a tree, and it displays them somewhat, I guess. It's a bit weird, but this is basically what I'm picturing. Oh, and when I click on a widget, it also gives me all of its properties and stuff like that. So this is really cool, and this is basically what I want to implement. Now with that context out of the way, honestly, I think I'm just gonna start now. All right. So how am I gonna approach this? First, I probably want to push that. There you go. So the first thing I'm thinking is I may be lacking some kind of widget already. And the widget I'm talking about is the one where you have panels. So like this kind of panel right here, I can change the size by clicking on the, like, I don't know what it's called. If someone has the name, please tell me. But you know, if I click on this line, I can resize the panels, and I want to have that. So how am I gonna do this? Um, I wonder how other people implement this kind of stuff. Actually, so right now I already have some kind of flex layout. So if I open this thing again, right? What do I have at some point? Is there a good way I can show this? What if I make this? No, this is kind of a bad example. I mean, okay, so if you look at the background fills the window. So I already have a layout that supports elements that can fill, and say, oh, hey, let me give you another example. If I create like another tab here, let me create another tab. So if I go into the scene, and then it's in the interface, and then here are the tabs. Okay, perfect. Right. I have all of this, and then I'm gonna do something right after the for loop. Right, and I'm gonna do the same here. So right after the for loop, I create a fake tab. Not like that. There you go. That kind of always does this weird thing where if I mean it's not weird. Usually you want to continue a comment, but when you don't, it just appends this stuff, and then when I paste the code, it's inside of that comment, so it's weird. But anyways, the page name here is gonna be a fake tab, whatever. I don't really care what it is. We don't care what happens to it when we click. And most importantly, what I'm gonna do with this page selector button is, instead of making the size hug, I'm gonna make it new with a different widget dim for every dimension. Okay. So that's gonna be widget dimension hug round. Wait, no. Hug round. Yeah. No, that's for Y. For X, I want widget dim fill, like that. It's pretty verbose. I could probably, like, my UI is pretty verbose. Oh yeah. No need for a page index in this case. Wait, why is it failed to resolve? Oh, widget dim. Bruh. And current page index. I mean, oh right, this is in case it is the current tab. It's never gonna be the current tab because it's fake, so let's just remove this part. And we should be good to go. Okay. All right, let's launch it in debug mode, just because why not? Man, it's really taking long. So there would be a bunch of things I would need to do to like drastically reduce the compile times, but it would have been too much work. So as you can see, this nav bar that has these kinds of tabs has both elements that like hug the size of their contents. They could have a fixed size, and they can also fill the rest of the layout. So this is something I can do in my framework right now. And so I'm wondering, if there isn't a way that I can just use that to my advantage to implement this kind of panel. So I think I'm gonna try something like that. Let's see. So the thing I'm gonna do first of all is I'm gonna create other pages. Because I'm gonna make a bunch of tests for this kind of thing that I want to implement. Also wait, give me a second actually. Before doing anything. Oh, does that do what I want? Let's see. Yep, okay, it does what I want. So I'm gonna just fetch some some lofi just for me. But also you're gonna hear it, so it's just gonna be a cozy thing in there. Okay. Let's make it not too... not too bad. Not too loud. I'm not sure if you can even hear that. I just it seems like you can. Well, let me just go back to desktop. Okay. Let's make this other page, shall we? So the other page I'm gonna do is test stuff. I guess I'm occasionally bad at naming. Sorry. So now that we have an additional page, what I'm gonna do with this page is, if it goes to 3, the third page, I'm gonna... so I have page 0, page 1, page 2 with blocks everywhere. And I'm gonna have page 3, test stuff. I feel like my laptop is not keeping up, but maybe that's just me. Alright. Actually... okay, I just noticed something. So I'm gonna take this and put it here. Oh wait, that requires doing some something. Like using an option. Like it requires using an option, doesn't it? It's gonna be shorter anyways. So I'm gonna do it like that. It's gonna return this. Whoops. Not like that. There we go. This is gonna be sum. And anything else is gonna return none. I'm gonna do let page, and then if let sum page equals to the page, then we add it to the child. And this is much more concise. Yeah. Awesome. Now that we have this, in the page 3 test stuff, Let me just take this because there wasn't a lot in this page anyways, so it's nice to start with it. While I'm at it, I should probably explain what this the way this works, because it's not immediately obvious, right? So when I want to build a widget, so first of all, there is only one kind of widget, and it's widget. Sometimes in UI frameworks you see different widgets have different types, but it's not the case here, because the way this works is I just have like a tree of widget structs, and then that's it. There's no special type for anything. But if I want different features like displaying rounded rectangles or displaying text, I have feature flags instead, which is something I also took from Ryan Fleury's blog post. If I go into build widget and into widget, probably it's probably in there. Struct widget. There you go. So here I have some widget props, and inside of the properties of a widget, I was literally on the properties widget before. Anyways, once I'm on the properties widget, I have some widget flags for feature combinations. And in the widget flags, we can see like it can be either disabled, there are some that you can focus, hover, click. You can draw text, draw borders, background. You can clip content. This is how I made the scroll view. Oh, and I added scroll as well because you want to be able to scroll as well. And also text and password input. Maybe I could have done that one better, because this feels like there's something redundant about this, but that aside, this is how I do things. Okay, I'm always confused when Zed does that, even though it's really a very helpful feature that they implemented. But yeah, that always confuses me. If I go back to the struct widget thing. Yeah, and this is the properties of the widget. And the properties of the widget are rewritten every frame. Hence the immediate mode UI. API, I mean. Meanwhile, the actual widget tree is retained from one frame to the next by a widget key system. So if I go back to widget props, there's a widget key in there, and the key identifies what a widget is from one frame to the next. And if I go into the scene again, this kind of widget key is everywhere. I made a WK macro to automatically generate a widget key based on by default just the position of where that key is in the code. So I take like the module name, the line number, and the column number, and I hash them together, and that's the key. Or sometimes, if I, for example, am in a for loop, like I am in when I create the tabs, that's not sufficient, because inside of a for loop, you're iterating multiple times over the same code. So what I do is I take the index and I add it to the widget keys by specifying that as argument of the macro. And that way I have an identifier for every widget without any problems, just the need to essentially have to be careful about widget keys, because otherwise you build over widgets that you did before in a bad way. But it turns out it's like, I like this system personally. Like, it's very explicit. It goes in line with the way it works. Like, you basically have to know that that's how it works, and once you know that that's how it works, it becomes very predictable. And also, it lets you use the same just very easy procedural constructs just to create a widget tree and still have it retained and have beautiful results that let you eventually implement stuff like animations and stuff like that. Oh, and layouting, of course. Declarative layouting, where you don't necessarily know the size of everything at once. This is how it's achieved. It's by retaining the widget tree and having a system of widget keys to identify each widget from one frame to the next. Now back to my page 3. So I'm not gonna have a text. The thing I want to have is a panel, so I'm probably gonna have another UI widget. I'm gonna have a panel container. Okay. It's gonna fill. No need for any anchor origin. And the layout is gonna be a flex horizontal as well. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. And then I'm gonna UI.addChild, because this is how I do it. Oh wait, it's self.ui.addChild to the page frame. I add the panel container. So one thing about this specifically is I saw how Clay does its element definition, and it is quite different, and in my opinion better than what I'm doing now. It just has an open element and a close element function, and it does this kind of thing for you, and it also does layouting. And basically, I think I also want an open and close element. Having to do add child when it's always the same thing that's happening. I could just have a stack of the last widget and then add to it, and then that would be completely fine. Like, it would just work. Honestly, it's kind of a I mean, I could do that now, but I would be getting sidetracked. Like, I'm gonna refactor that later. Now inside of that panel, I'm gonna have, say, a sidebar. I'm not gonna have an underscore in there. Then what props is it gonna have? Yeah, I'm also gonna have some normal padding in there. I'm gonna make it 10 though. Okay. Wait, no padding on the panel container actually. That's gonna be important. Size is not gonna be fill. It's gonna be whoops. Widget size, there we go. And then on the x-axis, it's gonna be fixed. So widget dim fixed. And for now, let's say 50. Whoops. Filled. Okay. Then I'm There's not gonna be any layout inside. We don't really care about what the sidebar contains. We care about the panels that are inside of this panel container. So once I get there, and then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna add the sidebar to the panel container. Like that. Then, inside the sidebar, just to make sure we know it's a sidebar, let's say for example that we draw a background in it. So first off, I need flags for that. Where are my flags? Give me my flags, please. What is it doing? It seems completely like... First off, the indentation is wrong. The autocomplete is not there, even though I do have it with flags. With flags, this is supposed to exist. What is Z doing? Hello? Oh. Oh. Okay. This is why. Oh, and of course, .0, I guess. It was my fault, again. Oh, and fill, not filled. Okay. Now, for the flags, I'm gonna have it draw a background, as well as a border. Okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. No. With color. Yeah, the color is gonna be the background color in this case. And the color is just like the way I did it. It's just a U32. So like it's RGBA 4 bytes. Let's make it 0. And then 80, like that. And no border, actually. Never mind that. That's not how I'm gonna do things. Okay. So that's gonna be the sidebar, and then I'm gonna grab some text, which I'm gonna append to this, like so. I take the sidebar and then sidebar text, just why not? Just some sidebar text. No need for any kind of page index. Yep, it's gonna be on the center of the sidebar. Just some random sidebar, like that. Actually, I'm gonna insert some new lines in there just to make sure that the text stays a bit small. You'll see why, because I want to resize this sidebar. Like this is the goal. I want to implement some some panel like that. No, not like that. What is it doing? Stop. This is what I want to implement, so I'm gonna need to do it. Alignment just left. That should be it for the sidebar text, and then after the sidebar, with the size being fixed, I just have another widget like that after the sidebar. Right? Let other content, whatever that is. Right? It's gonna fill the rest. It's not gonna have any layout because we don't really care about that. I mean, it's gonna be stacked essentially. This doesn't have any layout, right? Yeah, it doesn't. Good. Inside of that content, I'm gonna also have the same kind of text. So, other content text, whatever. Just some content. This time I'm not gonna have new lines. And the important thing about this is I'm also gonna have a background, but it's gonna be slightly different. Let's say, for example, I make it blue with some 80 like that, and more alpha. It's gonna look very ugly, probably. Once I have this other content, I will also need... Okay, let's just look at how it looks like already. Right? So... before doing anything else, I need the current page index. I want to set it immediately to 3. I believe it's 3, right? Yeah, it's the third page. So set it to 3 immediately. Right? This is where it is set by default to 3. So now if I cargo run, I should land directly on that page. Why did it take so long? Anyways, yeah, okay, this is very ugly. Like the color is very much not friendly right now. Let me just fix that real quick. So if I go back to page 3, test stuff. First off, the sidebar, let's make it 200 just to make sure we can see everything. Then for the other content, I'm gonna make it straight up white. And then 20 alpha. Oh, maybe there are too many Fs. Yep, too many Fs. And what else do I need here? The size is fill. That is just what needs to happen. Oh, yeah, it was adding it to the sidebar instead of the... Yeah, this is exactly why I need some open element and close element thing, because I mean, I don't do this kind of mistake often, but it's annoying for sure. So yeah. Also, maybe I should stop this content loading, because it's loading all of the data that makes this page display all of these colors for these squares, right? And there's a lot of squares here. So yeah, it's taking a bit of time, especially in debug mode. In release mode, it's instantaneous, but I don't want to wait that long. So yeah. Okay, so we have the basics, and what I want to be able to do is come in here, right? And to be able to just hover over, like, being able to grab this, like this edge, and move it around. So when this is gonna be pressed, we're gonna have some state registered somewhere for the cursor, and then use it to modify the width of this of this panel specifically. And the thing I'm kind of worried about here is the fact that right now my hovering logic doesn't allow me to have any room for more space for an element, more than it takes on the screen. So I just illustrate. Right here, this sidebar, right? Like the edge of this sidebar, it's only 1 pixel large. But I can hover over like something like 5 pixels, or like 4 or 5 or something, and it's still gonna work, right? So now I'm kind of worried about that, about how I'm gonna do that. But before doing anything else, let's already like just display an edge like that instead of being a border on the rectangle of the sidebar or something. I'm going to just go ahead and make it another widget. Call it sidebar edge, just like that. Then I'm also gonna make it white. A bit more visible like that. Okay. And for the size, it's gonna be something like 2 pixels or 1 pixel actually. Let's make it 1, just to show how it looks, right? Draws a background with color, with no padding. It doesn't need any padding. And this size, and we just have it in the panel container. Whoops, it's gonna put the sidebar twice, isn't it? Yeah, or none, because widget keys, obviously. Let's make it the sidebar edge. Yeah, it is kind of horrible to have to wait that long, but it is what it is. So yeah, now we have the sidebar edge, and that's the thing that I'm gonna want to grab. Now, before doing anything else, let's just go ahead and comment out the code that does all this loading. Where is it? So yeah, it's that. So all of these unmerged corrupted areas, the last area, the inode addresses, the directory entry addresses, all of that doesn't matter, and you don't need to analyze the area right now. Ah, shit. I'll uncomment this one, this one, and this one to keep the... to at least keep the vectors existing, even though they don't do anything. And since we're not gonna... If I go back on that screen, it's probably gonna panic, won't it? Wait, no, it doesn't. Okay, that is actually amazing. Yeah. Quite resilient to data not being there. That's cool. That's very cool. Now, with that out of the way, let's think about this more. So this is the thing that I want to grab, right? And just to be able to have this this sidebar move. So now let's do it the very stupid way first. So in the main scene, I'm literally gonna have a global state, right? I'm gonna call it say like sidebar cursor start, which is gonna be the start position of the cursor. Okay. Now, this global state is not supposed to be like, you're not gonna be supposed, like, if I make a UI, when I make my actual UI, I don't want to just have this kind of global state everywhere. Like right now I have one scroll view and I have a regular scroll view global state that represents that scroll view. So for every scroll view that I want, I need to add this right now to the global state of my app. And this is not good. And the way I thought about solving that problem is essentially, I mean, it's pretty much what all the web frameworks do, which is that they have some kind of store system where you only need, you can refer to some state locally to where it is used without specifying specifying that it's part of your global state. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a system where you can attach some state to a widget key, meaning that you get it by fetching it using the widget key. It's like a use state kind of thing, or maybe it's not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not very experienced in React, but I assume that's the kind of thing it does. Right now, though, I'm gonna continue with global state because I just want to experiment with this kind of thing. So the sidebar cursor start is just gonna be a vec2. Shout out to Glam, by the way. That's an excellent crate. Zero dependency is just a lot of vector math and not much else, and compatible with OpenGL, and yeah, it's just great, honestly. Now that I have the sidebar cursor start, the way I'm gonna use it is we're gonna have to think a bit in a sort of state machine way here. So in this sidebar edge, first off, let's pretend that this hover thing is not a problem right now. So let's make it 10 pixels so that my cursor can actually fetch it. Right? Inside of the sidebar edge, if the sidebar edge is pressed, we want to do something. We want it to be dragged, right? Right, yeah, that's something I didn't explain. I'm so bad at giving context. So builds a widget, puts the widget into the widget tree in the background, and this is not the actual widget, it's a widget reaction. And the widget reaction, all it is the ID of the widget that has been created, and a bunch of variables containing the reaction of a widget, say like whether it's been hovered, clicked, pressed, or whatever else. So this is all a widget reaction is. So this is how I can do if this thing is pressed. So if this thing is pressed, well, wait, hold on. Do I have start pressed? Yeah, I do. So if this thing is start pressed, which is the start of the press, which is only gonna happen once when you press on the click, the moment it goes from off to on is the only time when this if statement is gonna run, which is important because we want to set the sidebar cursor start to do we have access to the mouse here? No, we don't. Do we have mouse? Yeah, we do have the mouse inside of the, yeah, we just mouse position. You can just access it inside of the global state of the main scene. That's nice. No need to pass it as an argument. That's good. So now we have the first step, which is to set this sidebar cursor start thing. And this is needed so that we know how much to change the width of the sidebar based on the position of the cursor. I also just realized I need a second thing, which is sidebar width start sidebar width start. I mean, this is very bad naming, but this is going to be the width of the sidebar when we start doing this kind of interaction. Why am I doing a vec2? This is F32. Okay. God, yeah, I'm not used to this. So the second thing it's going to do is to set the width of the sidebar at the start. It's going to save it to that state. So this is going to be so now I need to access the widget actually, so I'm going to do that by doing widget, then providing the widget ID, so sidebar edge dot ID, like that, and then accessing the width. So the which one I want to solve direct. Yeah, that's the one I want. Dot size dot x. This is it. This is the width of the sidebar when we start the interaction. Wait, it's fixed actually. So yeah, but it's fixed and it hasn't changed. So actually, it's okay to just do it like that. So now that we have this, if it is pressed, we want to change the width of the sidebar based on the position of the cursor, like the difference between the current position of the cursor and the position of the cursor when we started the interaction. So let's say it's gonna be cursor pos diff. This is I feel like this is slightly bad naming right now, but I don't know why. Why did the music stop? Oh, it's just YouTube being YouTube, I guess. Maybe I should just download all of these. Let me just drink some water. I've been talking a lot. I've been talking for what? How long I've been talking for an hour straight. Okay, So let's calculate the cursor position difference. So this is gonna be, actually we don't even care about anything else. Like we care about cursor X specifically. We only care in one direction. We're gonna do that, and then oh right, I also need to make these initialized since they're global state, right? This is what's wrong with the kind of global state, by the way. It just requires a lot of setup and it would quickly become unmanageable if you make a real UI that's much more complex than what I'm doing right now. Cell.mouse.position.x is this minus this one. Sure, you don't mismatch types, right? Yeah, it just takes a while because Rust is kind of slow at this, but it is what it is. So once I have the cursor position difference, where else do I go? This is one of those times where my brain just sometimes shuts down, and I'm left on my own like that. Right. So here, all I need to do is going into the widget itself, right? But mutatingly, okay? I access the widget in order to modify it, then I go into the properties, not the SolveDirect, this is important. Then I access the size and I set the width to the width that we had at the start plus this cursor position difference. That should be enough, shouldn't it? This is F32, this cursor position difference is F32 as well. The width, however, oh right, yeah, we need to put it in a fixed thing. In a fixed dimension wrapper, because we're modifying the width of the properties directly. Right? So now if I run this, what happens? Wait, I forgot something. This is not gonna work actually, like it's not gonna work. And the reason it's not gonna work is because I forgot to specify a flag to the sidebar edge that I want this to be able to be clicked and hovered as well. Like that. What else do I need for this flag? Do I need maybe something, anything else? No, it cannot focus. It doesn't make sense to focus it. So that's all. So now it should work. Yeah. Oh god. It's not changing the width of what I want right now, but that's the spirit. That's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it, actually. I mean, not exactly, but yeah. Also, I like the fact that I can just have negative width. Like, that's the thing. Okay, sure. Oh, and then it's not keeping it. Right. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's because I'm not saving the width as a global state again. So sidebar width F32, and this is probably gonna be like, I'm gonna put that into a struct somewhere, and once we have a global state system, like a store system or whatever, then this struct is gonna be able to be just instantiated in directly in the UI code without having to modify any of the global state. And that's going to be much more manageable. So let's just initialize this. Actually, the sidebar width is going to start at 200. Okay. And what I'm going to do is instead of doing this, right? First thing I'm going to do is take cell dot. No, this has to stay at 10. I'm already doing the mistake. This is gonna be cell.sidebar width, like that. It starts at 200. And then what we want to modify is the sidebar. The sidebar's size to the sidebar's width to this fixed thing. And we're just gonna update it and let the cell.sidebar width. Ah yes, sidebar. Yeah, that's totally a variable. And this time should have the correct result, right? So if I run this thing now, what happens? That's not quite what I expected. Right, yeah, this is because I took the wrong the wrong widget when I initialized sidebar with start here. This is the kind of code that you're not supposed to write yourself, so like, yeah. Now it works. Damn, that. How long did it take? It took me like something like either like 1 hour or 40 minutes to get this working. But yeah, now the problem is hold on, actually give me a second. Do I have any way to set the cursor up? We can deal with that later. So yeah, the problem that I was talking about earlier is if my sidebar edge is 1 pixel, then it becomes really hard to grab. Like, I'm not grabbing it here. I'm not grabbing it here. I have to be right on the pixel to be able to grab it at all, and this is bad. I'm not sure how to fix that, honestly. Like, how would I make this less like have more wiggle room, essentially? Is something that's quite interesting. Honestly, for now, I decided I'm not gonna bother trying to fix that problem. I'm just gonna make this thick enough that it's not really that much of a problem, and then we can fix the issue later. But yeah, this is I have a sidebar now. I have a good sidebar. I can also set up some kind of minimum width. So if I want here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna take the max between that and say, for example, 50. That way, when I run this thing again, why is it blocking? Why was it blocking? Anyways, when I do that, it's not gonna go further than 50. Admittedly, I could probably make it 100. And that would have been it. Like that. There you go. Very reasonable width. Actually, wait. I do have the minimal width set up, don't I? So I can take the max between that and the sidebar. Okay, so let's take this sidebar, shall we? Let min width equals and then we take from the same sidebar widget, not mute this time, and then it's gonna be min, no, sold. Wait, did I not give access to the minimum size? I see, okay, I did not. That explains. Solved min size. And that should be good now. And then I access the solved min size dot x. And now I have the minimum width, and I just put it there in the max. And boom, I have my sidebar edge, and now it cannot go below the minimum size that it's supposed to be. Wait. Oh, I'm dumb. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Hello, oh whoa, Ololo. That is one of the nicknames of all time. What the hell? How are you doing? Yeah, let's just make it 100 for now. I might need to fix this kind of minimum width one day, but it doesn't really matter right now. Oh yeah, that's that works well enough. So now that I have this, I can do it over and over again. Actually, let's see. So let me try something. So first off, now that I have figured out how this stuff works, I'm gonna turn it into a component. So I'm gonna have a sidebar component somewhere. So this is a button component, text component, a text input component, which I'm not using right now. Then I have the regular scroll view, right? With the RSV cursor, the regular scroll view. Like that. I should probably put all of this into a scroll module. Yeah. Let's make it a mod. Like that. There you go. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do pub use. Bruh, no comment please. Everything, pretty much. Yep. Then oh right, I need to import everything from use super everything. Is that gonna be enough? Yep. Nice. So now I'm gonna do another mod. Actually, wait, I can make it. I can make it not public. That way it uses everything. Yeah. Without having any kind of duplicate way of specifying a scroll view. Anyways, so let's make it a component. Let's say, I mean, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to. I'm gonna I'm gonna call it resizable. Just that. I don't have a better idea for a name right now. Rust is having a feed right now. I'm not sure what it's doing. Okay, it was just nothing. So let's copy the state of the sidebar that we just implemented. Again, let's go to components. The scroll view, we don't need to see it. And let's have a struct resizable, inside of which we have this this state. We have the width start, and the cursor start, and then we also probably have a direction. But we're not gonna worry about it immediately. Cheap viewers. Awesome! Time for another chatter to ban, I guess. I always get confused on how to ban them. I'm gonna get the gist of it though. Ban! Anyways, back to the resizable thing I was doing. The direction, I'm just gonna reuse the flex direction, because it's already either horizontal or vertical. Right? But right now we're just gonna have the width, which I'm gonna rename later. But let's just implement it that way. Let's see. So how does scroll view does it already? I have an RSV cursor, which is the thing that the thing that is inside. Yeah, it's the thing that is inside of this struct 2 times. So this doesn't really matter. What matters is that this struct is the global state of our widget. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create, this struct is already created, so all I need to do is to add this method called resizable. It's called a resizable widget. It might be a bit more verbose, but it doesn't really matter. And following this same kind of pattern, it's gonna take... It does have to... Wait, I don't need to take the mouse, do I now? That might be completely redundant, given that the mouse is inside of the UI context. Wait, it's not. It's not in the UI context. Yeah, that's yeah, okay, that's why. I'm probably gonna put the mouse inside of the UI context at one point. Regardless, let's do the same thing as this regular scroll view definition, where I take the self, I take mouse, I'm gonna take maybe not widget props right now. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna take props, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna have a sidebar. So let's take these arguments. Okay, I have the mouse. Then I'm gonna have the resizable. So and I just take it mutably, right? Then once I have this, I'm just gonna copy the code that I wrote in the scene. Right? So right here, this sidebar and sidebar edge, right? I'm gonna make it into a single thing, a single, like I'm gonna put both in a single container widget, which is not gonna have anything, any interesting property. Right, so I do this. I used to play Osu with you during COVID. Good see you're doing well. Thank you! I still play Osu, by the way. This is the thing I stream the most. Not on YouTube, though. I usually do that on Twitch. But I tried YouTube and Twitch at the same time right now. And it's working pretty well, so... yeah, it's cool. And yeah, I'm trying to do a dev stream right now. Because why not, right? Like I plan to make some kind of variety of content. I'm not being regular with it, so I don't know where this is gonna lead, but yeah, I'm interested in doing essentially Osu content, especially mapping content, because why not? Dev content, though admittedly I'm not being very entertaining right now, but it is what it is. Maybe one day. And I don't know what else. We'll see. Osu and dev for now. We'll see later where this can lead. Right, so as I was doing this resizable widget, I'm gonna make a container for it. Okay, but before copying it, I need to make self.build widget, right? Because that's what has. Oh wait, I don't have the mouse imported nor the UI context, so obviously it doesn't have the context necessary for autocomplete. Now it has. Good. So I'm gonna make this widget, right? And I'm gonna need props. I'm obviously gonna need props. So container props, widget props, like that. Okay. And that's gonna be our container. Not container pros. Oh my god. I don't know what's going on with my keyboard. Actually, no, it's not my keyboard. It's me lagging. It's my laptop lagging from all of this double streaming that I'm doing. It might not be good for my computer. And then I'm gonna put everything inside, and then I'm just gonna return the container. So it's gonna return a widget reaction like that. and then the user is gonna do whatever they want with it. So now that this sidebar is a thing, oh, I can call that panel container. Okay. And then I need to import everything, of course. Maybe I should have some sort of UI prelude. Who knows? I'm not sure what is the best approach here. Now, the sidebar text is something else. Actually, the container, we don't care about the container. What am I doing? We care about the sidebar, right? It's the sidebar that we want to return because the resizable widget, we're gonna put stuff in it, right? If we want to. So it's the sidebar that we want to return. So, okay. I have an even better suggestion. So I'm gonna... The container props are actually gonna be the sidebar props, right? And then here in build widget, I'm gonna just have a widget props new, and then I'm gonna have a widget key that's gonna take the sidebar props key in argument, which is something I can already do. I can take other keys in argument for other widget keys. What will the UI framework be used for? Basically all my side projects. Right now, the thing I have in mind is a music editor? Not music editor, bruh. A music player, sorry, that's a very different thing. I want to make a music player. I've had like the design for this music player for like a year now. And it's basically, you know, all these YouTube videos that display an audio spectrum and then just some background and then they have the music? That's basically the vision I have for my music player. And this is why I have this UI framework for it that I want to be able to use. But also, I have this separate tangent where I did something very stupid with my external disk, where I wiped the file system out of it because of stupid commands that I did. And it's now in a state where I just cannot easily get everything back. So I learned like the ext4 file system, which is what I used for my external disk, to see if I couldn't recover anything from it. If you were at the start of the stream, this was what the visualization that you saw was. If you weren't, then I'm gonna show you later, but yeah, it's a whole tangent, so it's also to have some visualization to see what I can recover from my disk. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but that's basically the context where I'm in right now. Now, that being said, since we have a resizable, I'm gonna set self dot, no, it's not self, it's resizable dot width, right? Yep. Then, we don't care about the sidebar text or any content that's inside of the sidebar, and the props of the sidebar itself are specified by the sidebar properties. But with one override, right? We're gonna have some kind of override on it, right? And of course all the .ui stuff has to go. So, and then all of this becomes the stuff that we take from Resizable instead of taking it from our global state. Like that. And the mouse is supposed to be supplied in arguments, even though I should have it in the UI context, but it doesn't really. I had the same idea. I have been trying to make a music visualizer for Android for the past 4 years. For Android, damn. Wait, for the past 4 years? Okay, what's your progress on that? Now I'm curious, actually. Like, what kind of music visualizer is it? Like, is it like a hyper customizable music visualizer? Like, what kind of visualizer is it? Like, what's your vision for this visualizer, essentially? Meanwhile, I'm gonna continue to make this resizable thing. Resizable dot, and then it's the width like that. And then self dot widget mute like that. And then the mouse is this. Ah, wait, it has no cursor X start. Oh, it's cursor start, yeah, of course. Oh, so really was my inspiration. Wait, really? Oh, because hold on. Actually, I know exactly why. Let me stop here. And let me open Osu Laser. And we're gonna see some sort of... Actually, I don't think it's an audio spectrum. Welcome to us. And they already updated. So this thing, we see it very faintly, but it has an audio spectrum here. But it's not an audio spectrum. It's just, yeah, it's just the amplitude of the audio, actually. I think. Yeah, it's just going around in a circle with the amplitude of the audio, like that. And then it's like duplicated 5 times to make it look a bit better, right? So that's what it's doing. And so do you want to do that kind of music visualizer? Like just the amplitude, or do you plan to have more things? Or well, like maybe you abandoned the project, actually. So my bad if you did, but yeah. Right, so cursor start here, and then add child here, and then build widget here. And now I have everything that I want, and then container just needs to be container. It doesn't need to be panel container. Then the widget reaction is not something that I had imported. I have it imported now. Okay, just in case, hell yeah, I started on laser, I want to do it like that. Okay, I see. So, let me just give you an idea of the kind of audio spectrums I'm talking about, because it's nowhere near this. It's much more advanced than that. Audio spectrum. No, why am I searching that? Actually, I need to search something else. Let's say, for example, Virtual Riot, right? If you know the kind of dubstep that I'm talking about. I don't want to mix, I just want some things from Virtual Riot. Not beatbox. The beatbox is nice, but it doesn't have what I want to show right now. Actually, you know what? This has it. Purple dragons. Let's watch purple dragons. I don't care.
With every death comes
You see? Did this kind of audio spectrum? Like it actually separates by frequency, right? It reacts with individual frequencies of the track that you have. It's not just amplitude, it's also frequency. I want to integrate it with Spotify in some way and basically learn shaders in the process. That is awesome. Yuga wagata hyokuro! Sorry. Yeah, see? This is the kind of cool thing that I want to do. I want to do. Bruh. No. That I like in audio spectrums. Wait, no, it is the sort of thing that I want to do. Just not exactly in a circle, essentially, necessarily. Maybe I could make that an option, but yeah, this is the kind of cool audio spectrum that I want to have in the music player that I plan to make. Because I think it's really cool. And there is a project like that that I actually used to make like my last note block Minecraft note block videos at one point. Like there's a bunch of them. Not these ones, but these ones. This one, which has the most views, is I made it with JavaScript and FFmpeg. So like it's rendered on a HTML canvas, and then I feed these images to FFmpeg, and then it renders this kind of audio spectrum, as you can see. And the audio spectrum in question, if you're curious, because I'm sure you might be interested in that part of the equation, is this P5JS thing. Hold on, let me right, I don't have the I don't have the chat right now, but yeah, it's this. If you go to my note block cover, then you'll see the link to the P5JS sketch that has this kind of audio spectrum I'm talking about, and it's absolutely incredible. Like the amount of customization that is in this sketch is absolutely insane. Like, if I select a file, right? Let me just select an audio file. Let's choose, like, what do I want to choose? Let's choose Geoxord Zetiv, because I like this song. Right. Okay, I mean, it doesn't look good right now, but there's a lot that you can customize from this. If I go into audio analysis, there's a different sample provider. The brown bucket. I mean, I don't exactly know what this does, but it's explained in the code somewhere. I kind of forgot what it does, but yeah. Okay, no, this is kind of not doing very good right now. There's some parameters somewhere in there for yeah, the higher hertz. Let me make this 600 instead, for example. And now it's much better. Piecewise linlog. Yeah, now it looks even better now. Like, if you see what I mean, like this is like, just look at all these parameters. Like, you basically have access to all of the parameters of the FFT process, and you can make some really nice looking audio spectrums with that. And this is what I did for my node block cover audio spectrum visualization. It looks much smoother than the default parameters that are in there, but that's the kind of stuff you have access to. So if you're curious at all about making this kind of audio spectrum, this is the sketch. Like, please look at that sketch. It's absolutely amazing. Tayade Hritik is kind of like, he's a wizard of audio spectrums, and he made this sketch specifically for Vizy.io, which is it's an audio it's an audio spectrum video maker kind of thing that that I discovered one day, and eventually I did my own thing using this sketch because it's absolutely amazing. So yeah. In Android you can get the FFT audio data for the system audio, but it's not high quality. I mean, the FFT itself is just what do you mean high quality? Because there's the FFT and then there's the processing of the FFT, because you need quite some complex form of processing from the FFT to the result that you saw that I just gave there. And this is what this kind of sketch does. Like, it takes your FFT, then it does a bunch of processing on it using some like it does some convolution, for example, to get something that looks smoother. It does some more smoothing. It also translates, say, like it puts frequencies on a scale that you want. Like, you can select the parameters of the window, say its shape, stuff like that. And then you combine all of that, and at the end you get an audio spectrum that looks much nicer than like the raw FFT that you would get, right? And so this is the kind of thing that you that you can do with such an audio spectrum. So yeah, I see. If you can get the FFT audio data, then you would basically need to take all of the processing that this this sketch does after getting the FFT, and then display your end data into a bunch of rectangles or lines or a polygon or whatever, and then get that. That's what I plan to do with my music, my music player, when I get to it. Right now I'm in a huge tangent, but but yeah, that's what I plan to do. And if you're interested in that, yeah, definitely check out this sketch. But what's taking you 4 years? Like, what's your programming experience been so far? Like, are you basically learning programming as you go, or did you already have past programming experience 4 years ago, and you started, and like what's been the point that slows you down? Like, what stuff do you not know about that you need to make this kind of audio visualizer? That being said, I'm gonna continue making this sidebar thing. Now that I have the resizable widget, it's one thing I'm gonna do is say, for example, the sidebar properties. One thing I'm gonna do is inside of the not inside of the resizable. I'm just gonna have it be, say, for example, impl resizable. I'm gonna have pubfn new and then have the direction. The direction is completely ignored right now. It's always gonna be horizontal. But I'm gonna make it an actual parameter later on. Right? Then we don't care about where the cursor start is. Nor what the width actually is. Except we do take the width from the resizable. So I'm also gonna make the default width part of the resizable. Width, default width, like that. And then that should be it. Oh, also, let me just put back the Lofi. Good Toho Lofi. Music. Alright, so that's how it's gonna start, so I don't need to do anything. But one thing I think I'm gonna do is that no, it is gonna be the width of the resizable of the sidebar. So yeah, no, actually that's it's good that I do it like that. And something that I think I'm gonna do always is, yeah, precisely that, which is to take the size, the width of the sidebar and always set it to the width of the resizable. And there are a lot of limitations on the platform. I mean, okay. I think I forgot the questions that I asked a few minutes ago already. Yeah, your programming experience, like what's that been like? What has taken you 4 years, basically, to do that? Or like, is it something you didn't start? Is it something you started but then you did something else in the meantime, basically? Yeah. Do tell me, if you want. And you also make sure, yeah, I am on the last instances of chat, so yeah. Right, so now that I have this resizable widget, it's already been 2 hours. What the fuck? I shouldn't have taken 2 hours to do this. Okay, I mean, I did do a tangent, so you know what? Actually, fair enough. Never mind. I gave up a lot of times, but I want to do it so badly. Oh, so like you restarted the project a bunch of times? That is so relatable, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that is very relatable, not gonna lie. What was I doing with this? Right, so we have the sidebar, which we're gonna return as a widget reaction. 3 times! Damn! Yeah. Yeah, that is that is like that almost once per year. Let's see. Right, so we return the sidebar because that's what we want to return. Like, we don't care about the sidebar edge. This is what's going to be controlled by like inside of this widget function of the resizable widget creation function. And we also take the mouse position. Yeah, then everything is good right now. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is not used, so might as well remove it. I'm gonna go back to the scene, okay? And instead of a sidebar, cursor, start, and everything, I'm gonna have a sidebar resizable state. Like that. And import resizable. Then what I'm gonna do with that is oh wait, that's sidebar resizable is gonna be here. There we go. Like that. Then oh, it takes 2 arguments, right? Yeah. The flex direction, which is ignored right now, is just going to be horizontal because it's resizable on the width. Maybe I should make it resize, like be able to be resized on both. I'm not going to be concerned about that right now though, so we'll see. We'll see. Right, so flex direction horizontal, and then the default width is gonna be something like 200. And then I just need to use it right here, so let's sidebar equals to STARLiGHT.resizable widget. Using the mouse, state our own self.sidebar resizable, and then the props of the sidebar. And the props of the sidebar are these things with a size of fill. I think widget size fill like that, right? Yeah. So we're gonna take these widget props, put them here, like that. Not widget props, like that. And that should be it, I think. So no need to add the sidebar edge anymore. We're just gonna have a sidebar. Oh, yeah, okay, I see how it is, okay. This is not gonna work. Because the thing that I'm returning from the resizable widget, is the sidebar and not the container, but I need to return the container in order to make it like, say, I need to add the sidebar text to the sidebar, but I need to add the container to the panel container. So I'm just gonna return both right now, which brings into question whether like how I'm gonna organize like say an open and close widget functions for my UI framework, but who knows, maybe this is fine. I don't know, but yeah, let's return first the container, then the sidebar for now, like that. And then here we have the container that we put into the panel container. And I'm gonna call that the sidebar container. And that is what's gonna work, right? And that way we have a resizable widget that uses sidebar resizable. And I can do a cargo run, and it should do exactly the same thing. Nope. What the hell? Huh? What did it even try to do? This is fill, right? Yeah? And the other content is added to the panel container, yeah. And the sidebar container is added to the panel container. Okay, let's just make sure that I didn't do like stupid mistakes. So the sidebar is added to the container first, then the sidebar edge is added to the container, and then the only thing we do with the sidebar here is modify its width. And so, well, I mean, I don't think I have any problem here. Oh, so one thing I need to do here is make sure that the size of this thing is hug. So let's make sure that it's hug at least. Wait, no. No, it shouldn't be that. Okay, so we have the props of the sidebar. Let's think a bit more about this, okay? So let's go from the sidebar props first, okay? We're gonna have no flags, okay? That's the first thing, because we don't need any flags on the container itself. We only need flags on the sidebar edge and the sidebar itself. Then, what else? That's the container props, okay? Then the other thing is we need another key. So okay. Okay, we might need to construct it directly like that. So let's do that instead. With no flags. Okay. Now the size. Maybe I need even more than that, so I'm gonna construct it directly, actually. From sidebar props, like that. But the key is gonna be a new one, like that. Widget key using the sidebar props key instead of directly the sidebar props key, because the sidebar key is used by the sidebar itself. Okay? So it's gonna have the same things, except that for the size, it's gonna have a certain widget size. On the width, it's gonna be hug, because it's gonna hug its content, and on the height, it's gonna have the height of the sidebar props. So sidebar props dot size dot y, no, dot h for height. I am trying to link my Git. It's not happening. Right? Yeah. YouTube doesn't like links. If it was on Twitch, you would have been able to, but here it just doesn't want to for some reason. Let me see if I cannot have some kind of community moderation that accepts links. Lemao the blocked words. That must have been when I was 14 or something. Like these blocked words. Alright, let me save that first of all. Okay. Then, let's see. Permissions, no. Well, it seems like it just doesn't like links and nothing can be done, so I guess I'll look at your GitHub, I guess. Tayade Hritik. Okay. Like that. That's yours? I see Java in there, Python, like that. Is that yours? I work as an Android dev at my day job. Yeah, okay. So, I guess you have plenty of experience with Android dev now, so making the application itself is not the problem. It's whatever else it is. Maybe the audio spectrum? I don't know. Oh, you have an audio visualizer thing. Library for Android. Oh, and that's 5 months ago. Okay. Using Gradle and stuff like that. Okay. Oh, that's test. You have main. Oh, it's in Kotlin. Okay. Okay, it's in Kotlin, and yet there's still Java in there, like in the path. I guess that's how that's how it is. Yeah. JVM stuff. Yeah, that's me. Check the repos. Awesome, awesome. Fun. Process FFT data into bar heights. Okay, so you're already doing all of that. And then you draw stuff on the canvas, it seems. You draw a rectangle. And if the animated height is not empty, then for each index... Oh, right, that's the animated heights. And for each normalized height, you draw a rectangle. Yeah, I see. Huh, I'm surprised that you use this kind of camel casing in Kotlin. Is that the like, because I know that in Java they just keep the acronyms completely capitalized. Like if I see HTML, it's gonna be completely caps HTML. Instead of big H and then small TML, like Rust does. You did it like that. Is it standard in Kotlin, or is it just like You basically chose that because there's no standard or something. Anyways, that's probably just... I got completely sidetracked again. But anyways, I see. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of code here. So like, well, what is the problem with this this project? I mean, I'm not an Android dev, so I wouldn't actually know. But yeah. Do tell me what the problem is with that. Is it just not enough dedication? In which case it's extremely relatable, but do tell me. Kotlin we do camel case. Yeah, but that's not what I mean. Because within camel case or Pascal case or whatever, there's still one more thing you need to worry about, which is how you case acronyms. Right, hold on, let me just Java HTTP. Right? Oh, they do have HTTP client case like that. It's interesting. I thought it wouldn't have. What about HTML? Java tutorial, like whatever, I just need some kind of code that demonstrates the thing that I'm talking about here. That is not what I want. HTML file. File, whatever, yeah, it doesn't show any HTML type. Yeah, that uses HTML without camel casing the acronym either. I'm surprised. I could have sworn that there were some examples where they used HTML in all caps like this, instead of actually camel casing even the acronyms. Which is, I mean, honestly, it's nice. I'll take it. Like, if it's consistent, that's a bonus in my view. Oh, there you go. That's an example of place where they didn't camel case the acronym. They just kept it all uppercase. The SAX thing here, Sax Transformer Factory. So like, if you do it with the other, like the way everything is, it would be big S, small ax, like uppercase X, lowercase ax, and then Transformer Factory. Like was done with the HTML thing up there, right? HTML is an acronym, but it's still lowercase as the other ones. Yeah, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked like 5 times, so let me stop caring about casing. I shouldn't care about casing that much, honestly. Anyways, so the props of the container should be the props of the sidebar with some modifications, namely the key, the size where we want to hug on the direction where we want to be resizable. In this case, it's going to be the width, but that's going to change. We're going to have some if statement once we manage the flex direction. And what else would we want to have? We want the container to have no flags. Okay. And I think that's it. We don't really care that it has everything else, right? What else is there to care about? The anchor, yeah, it could be the same, but maybe that's unwise, who knows? anchor. Then we have the border color, the border anything. We do care about the border, but let's not think about it too hard for now. The border, the color, the draw offset, the layout, the origin, the padding. The padding should be 0. Do I have a 0 like that? No. So let's make it all 0. Let's look what else there is. Position. That should be 0. Or should it? No. No, it shouldn't. And then no text. Right? And that's gonna be the container props. Like that. Then we have the sidebar props, and one modification that they should have is to make sure that the size... No, wait, we don't... Do I want to do that? It doesn't matter, let's just keep the sidebar props as it is. And then since this is width, then we want the fill to be like this. And then I think that's it for now. Let's just confirm. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know why this arrives. This is weird. This is the sidebar, and this is the sidebar props, and the sidebar edge is added to the container after that. So why is the sidebar appearing before the other one? That doesn't make sense. And first off, let me just make sure that the widget key is correct on the sidebar edge. Oh, I don't know. No, sidebar props dot key like that. Expected value? What? Oh, why did it insert a semicolon? What? Anyways, yeah, it's still it's weird. I don't get. Oh wait, I think I've. Oh yeah, obviously. Okay, the problem was that the container was not. It needs to have a layout, and the layout is flex with direction. Well, now that I think about it, it's gonna be the direction of the resizable. So, and a gap of 0. Like that, right? Yep. Good. There we go. So now we actually have a resizable thing here. I mean, only being able to do this in 2 hours and a half is not very impressive, not gonna lie. It's kind of underwhelming for this kind of stream. But, I'm probably gonna continue to do this kind of stream until I get to a result that I want. Honestly. So, yeah, it's nice that we got there, at least. I have the container, the sidebar, and then, yeah, I have something resizable now, so that's nice. Right, now that I have that, I'm gonna have to implement everything else. So, to have something interesting inside of the debug inspector view thing that I want to have. Wait a second. Hold on. Yeah, so sorry, I just thought about something for a second. And yeah, I think it's about widgets reacting. Yeah, I know how I think I know how I'm going to solve the problem of the sidebar edge being too thick now, but it requires refactoring the code that handles reactions of widgets to do that. So I'm gonna have to think about that a bit more, but regardless, given where we are, we have something good right now, which is a resizable widget. So since we have that, I'll probably continue this debug UI thing later. I'm gonna end this stream at around now, and continue later. I don't know when I'll continue this, but yeah, that was a nice stream. Now the things that we need for the debug UI, while I was cutting myself off by thinking about something else, is first off, we need a tree, so that shouldn't be too hard to display, because actually the only thing that I would need to do is to have a list, a scrollable list of elements, and then each element in that list has a different indentation level. That shouldn't be too complicated, right? I could do that, or I could do like an embedded kind of thing where each node actually is a widget that contains its children, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. So yeah, tree of widgets first of all, and the second is that when we select a widget, we want to have information on the side about everything this widget holds. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, so first part was this resizable sidebar that we just implemented. And the second part is I'm probably gonna try to implement this this widget tree view later. Right. Well, that was a nice stream. I need to eat now, so yeah, I'm gonna do that and maybe stream again. Maybe this evening actually. But yeah. On that note, see ya!